Well, hello world, this is Marion Dorflinger at the Capen Park Mulch site, Columbia, Missouri. And this firmament that you see, the mist rising up, that is a mist rising from a pile of mulch that the city of Columbia bulldozed into a big pile over there and mulched it and put it in a big pile over here. And sometime soon, probably, a lot of this will be taken to some landfill and mixed with a certain liquid compound that turns it into methane, and they make electricity out of it. That's what I read anyway. I don't know if they do that with all the mulch or anything, but I believe that's what happened to some of it. Now, this is one of my favorite places on Mother Earth here because I have peace in my heart here, and I find the best carving wood that can be found in this part of the state where I live. There's other parts of the state where I can go sometimes and get better carving wood, but this is awfully good. It's about a mile and a half walk from my home, so it's so easy to get here and find good carving wood. There was a time when I would take home, like I would have somebody come out here with a truck or a car and take home 30 or 40, well, maybe not, 10 or 12 pieces, really good pieces. But I found out that if I had that much stuff available, I didn't have the interest to do it. Scarcity adds value for some reason. So I never take more than one or two. Two is a rare thing now for me to take 2 pieces from here. But today I got here, it's Monday morning, and I got here because a lot of yard waste piles up over the weekend. And if you get here Monday morning before they bulldoze it and mulch it, you got a great selection. And I'm going to show you the one I'm for sure taking home and the one I might. Okay, so the one on the right of my backpack is red cedar. And it's really amazing when you get a piece that has been cut off, a big branch that was cut off right next to the trunk of the tree. You get this great big, I don't know what you call it. It's big. And when you carve that, you can do some incredible, and this piece has got an incredible symmetry. I mean, it's got a mystical, mysterious shape to it. It's almost like biblical, like Moses' staff that becomes a serpent. And if God wills and I live and don't lose my mind, and the creeks don't rise and all those factors, and if present trends continue, of course, that will be something that I'll be awfully proud to show off and give away as soon as possible. And this over here is just the makings of a cool walking stick. You see that shape and that notch right there? That part right there is where you, above that notch, from where my hand is and up, you leave the bark. And from down, you go down, you take off various levels of the bark, because almost every species of wood has at least 3, some have as many as 5 layers, and every layer that you carve off reveals a different coloration. And if you can multi-layer something like that and put the right sealer on it at the right time, you capture some magnificent beauty that lasts a lifetime. And the thing about walking sticks is that, well, they're useful as a walking stick, as a weapon, as something to help you keep your balance, something that keeps you from sliding on the ice in winter, helps you cross rapid water. And when you carve a piece and it's individual and you have love in your heart and you express that love to the person you give it to, sometimes 40 years later they will pull that walking stick out of the closet or lift it out of the corner and say, I still have this And I remember what you said to me the day that you gave it to me. And you try to imagine how many gifts people receive over 40 years. And how few there are that they remember who gave it to them and what they said when they received it. So I have an affinity for walking sticks. If I get to die the death I want to die, I'll be alone in a wilderness place with a walking stick, a backpack, and a good carving knife. And it'll come my time to die, and I'll lean down against a tree and die. And after the coyotes and buzzards scatter my bones, they'll find me and say, that guy had that kind of stick and that's his knife, so we know who it is. And God, we're glad we finally found him, and what happened to him. Tough old bastard. Died like he wanted to. Okay, so you hear that sound? That is one of my favorite sounds at the Capen Park Mulch site, because somebody is getting them some firewood. Free. And they're not cutting down any living trees in the forest. And, all right, I didn't lie to you, but I made a mistake. That's a leaf blower. But very often people come here to get firewood. If you're not into carving wood, but you are into barn board, gosh, you can find a lot of it here. Look at it. I think a lot of people come and they find more barn board than they can take home, and they put it over here behind this barrier. And the city of Columbia don't pull it out and mulch it sometimes for months, and you can come back and get your wood if you're lucky. But look at the quality of some of this barn board. Look at, I mean, just, you cut a piece of that out, or take the whole thing and lean it against your wall, and like, hey, I live in America. This is an American hay wagon. This is something that a farmer built and painted and put it together, and it got weathered and old, and there's a little paint left. You don't have to decorate it or paint it or burn any messages into it. It's just like, hey, this is America. This is where I live. And if I ever travel to foreign countries, I'm going to say, show me your mulch site. Yeah, I don't want to go see the Sistine Chapel. I want to go see the mulch site. You know, I don't need to see the Colosseum. I need to see what they do with their wood over there. And God bless them. God love them. And, you know, I feel inspired to speak about Mother Nature, the environment, and all the stuff in the news that they want the politicians and the millionaires to fix. Billionaires, trillionaires, and, you know, we could fix a lot of the problems in the world as individuals without a whole bunch of money. No political power at all, just by how we choose to treat the land upon which we reside. I mean, we rent, and on the back porch we have a bunch of potted plants that are doing their thing, and hummingbirds and bees came and got some nectar, and some of those plants grew well and did their thing for the environment, and now they're organic material because it's fall. And you try to imagine how many square miles there are of lawn, manicured, treated with pesticide and herbicide. Just imagine that we say, well, we're not going to mow our lawns anymore in America. And that's millions of square miles of lawn that's all of a sudden basically returned to nature and has gone native. And, I mean, instead of bitching about what the people that live where the Amazon rainforest are doing with the Amazon rainforest, God, just let the dead lands of America that are green but produce no environmental good, just let them grow, you know? And, you know, we don't need the billionaires or the politicians to make that happen. We can just decide as a people, like, if 25% of the population of America said, screw your laws and your rules and your municipal regulations, we're going to let the lawns grow, that would be an act of civil disobedience that is just as righteous now in the time when the environment is so so painful as the civil disobedience of not riding in the back of the bus when you're an African American in the South, or you know, writing a criticism of the ruler of a country when you don't have First Amendment privileges. Put it in the paper, get arrested. I mean, that's the kind of, we need environmental civil disobedience. Like, we're not going to mow the lawn, we're not going to kill the dandelions, we're not going to comply with the stereotypical, this is what a lawn should look like in America. Just that one little change. And you think of the species that could survive, that are dying out now, the monarch butterfly, the honeybees, there's all kinds of rodent life, rabbits, sometimes the cottontail. The little cottontail has trouble making it in large areas because there's no habitat for them to hide from predators, and there's nothing for them to eat. I mean, just imagine a world without the Cottontail Bunny. I mean, anyway, I love it here. Sometimes I climb up on that thing and stare off, and I feel like God creating the world. Well, I'll say one last thing. Right here is where I watched the total solar eclipse, and there was no other human being in sight. They were all up there on the bluff or in the parking lot, and I could hear their voices. And somebody said right before the eclipse became total, they said, "I finally found paradise." And I was standing right here, and I was like I was alone in the world, hearing voices from another world. And I thank you, City of Columbia, for this place and letting people come and collect the yard waste. I hope that continues. Now that I've advertised it, they might pass a law against it. You never know. Or maybe they'll encourage other municipalities to do what they do here. You can't collect yard waste for craft or art purposes or firewood purposes in a lot of municipalities. It's just not allowed. I'm sure they've all got their reasons and they seem good, but to me, there's got to be a better way. So, thank you for listening to this one. This one made me happy. I was in a good mood on this one. And you see, there's almost no mist. If I had gotten here now, instead of 12 minutes and 41 seconds ago, you wouldn't have seen the magnificent mist rising that you saw 12 minutes and 47 seconds ago. So, every second is unique. There's something new under the sun every time your heart beats. And sometimes it's a beautiful world.